Balmain have won 8, Wests have won 3, drawn 1. Let's see both sides onto the field.
Come the Tigers. Gary Jack, John Davison, Olsen, Filipona, Wayne Wigham, Wayne Miranda, Gary Bridge, Steve Martin, Wayne Pearce, Terry Regan, Trevor Ryan, Kerry Hemsley, Neil Whittaker, captain, Gary Webster, and coach is Frank Stamp. Now the Magpies, Greg Cox, Steve Broughton, Wayne Smith, Ted Goodwin, Warren Boland, captain, Terry Lamb, Alan Neal, Jim Lease, George Morocco, Bob Cooper, John Donnelly, Arthur Mountier, Tom Arbour, and the coach is Terry Fern. Referee, Mr. Chris Ward. Balmain from right to left, black and gold uniform, well picked up by Arbour on the first bounce, that ricocheting hard kickoff. West running from left to right, in possession, white uniform with a black V. Donnelly in possession, unloaded. Mountie is with it, and to the halfway. Barry Ross on the sideline, the rain is gone.
Yes, the rain has gone. Conditions are good for football. Western Suburbs won the toss and decided to run against a slight breeze, and so Balmain have the breeze this half.
Right, Balmain in possession, change of possession. Bridge out to Wigham, 10 metres from the halfway line. Well, I think rugby league in Sydney must have done something that the god of water doesn't like. Huey, we've had 4 wet weekends in a row. It stopped raining about 10 minutes ago here. Yes, and rain for the previous 2 hours.
That's right, that's the point. The rain came at the wrong time. The fans have decided to stay at home. The conditions are good for football now.
Well, Balmain have won 2 games on the trot, and Wests have won 4 on the trot, so their credentials are good. I have a feeling that Ward, the referee, may not have an easy game this afternoon. Filipona unloaded beautifully to Wigham. Up the sideline, looks to support the pass, much too hard. Ricochets on, Ward says no knock on. Martin picks up the Briggs, last tackle. And Balmain in a bunch. You can throw an Indian blanket over them at the moment. Offside, Teddy Goodwin. And it's no good looking at the referee, Ted. He's already pinged you. Well, that was the look of... he gave him a very black look there. Miranda 10 yards out from the quarter, 22 in from the sideline. There it is, 9 from 14. Success rate pretty good, 64.3. That's gone up, and Balmain have hit the front, 2-0. Lamb gets that one deep. Jack takes it nicely. Vastly improved player is Gary Jack. Regan. Frank Stanton, the Balmain coach, won't be happy with that missed penalty by Miranda, but he's got a team that's leading at the moment. Filipona. Oh, that was a dangerous pass. 6 to go, says the referee. Bridge is giving it out there to Davidson. He's got a bit of pace, this lad, going up the sideline. He's trying to go around Cox, but can't do it. That's a good tackle. Cox knocks him down. Doesn't knock him over the sideline. Now Wigham goes. Unloads well to Bridge. Bridge, a long floating pass that goes over the head. Picked up by number 8 there for Balmain, Wayne Pearce, and they've lost about 20 metres. Whittaker runs from dummy half. Back on the inside to Martin. Neil looks after him, as a halfback will do with another halfback. Whittaker. Strong, hard stuff there from Webster. Whittaker again. Teddy Goodwin had a little snipe with the right arm there that went over the top. Hemsley. Unloaded to Martin, then on to Pearce. Pearce on the burst, and that's the 6. Good football from Balmain. Kept the impetus going. The value of Steve Martin to this side is the quickness of his movements. When he decides to unload, he does it quickly. There's Pearce, Martin, the wrap onto Bridge. Bridge will go in. Underneath the post, a nice move, well worked. Good bit of clever stuff. And Martin's delighted with Pearce. Balmain 5, West 0, third again. Set scrum. Round comes Martin. Bridge is given the final pass. And a good try. There it was from head on. Miranda went straight threw that kick and made it look very easy. And there's the scoreline. Balmain 7, West. Brilliant sunshine now on this ground that's in apple pie condition, and really would be perfect for playing league at the moment. Long kick downfield by Regan, taken by Broughton. Wayne Smith on the halfway line. Mount here. Had some big raps on Mount here recently. He's been playing very well for West on the blind side. Lease. That's a good tackle. That's Regan. Comes again. Donnelly. And they meet him with a solid tackle. Hemsley. Neal. West. Oh, that pass has gone forward. Chris Ward's missed a bad one there. And I'm glad that that's broken down and Balmain have come up with possession, because that pass was arguably a metre forward. Hemsley. Penalty. Holding down on the tackle. Can we see that again? The pass from Neal. What's the switch of play? Look at the relationship of the line. Gone well forward. That would have been a bad try had it been scored. Only the one successful scrum so far, and that's gone to Balmain, but the penalties have gone 5-0 Balmain's way. Hemsley on the move forward. Regan on the outside looking for that. Martin. Webster. Ricochets off 2 of them. 3. Finally, Dallas Donnelly calls a halt to proceedings and puts him down. Whittaker. Martin. 10 yards out from West's quarter line. Whittaker. Bridge. Filipino. Crowd trying to incite the referee into giving a penalty there, but it wasn't on. Trevor Ryan beautifully on there. Bridges busted on it. Runs straight to Regan, and Regan's in for a great try. Classic bit of football. Great backing up. And Trevor Ryan, the old stager, started that one. Balmain tearing away to a 10-0 lead after 14 minutes. See it again. Look at Ryan. Beautifully unloaded. Bridge loving this freedom of movement. And Regan backing up on the inside from head on. Watch it again. Watch the pass from Ryan. Object lesson to a young player. Bridge looks for support, sucks the fullback to him. Cox took him out of the play, and Regan goes round to score. Bit of chat going on at the moment, let me tell you. I think he's just told them if they're not prepared to tackle, they might as well get off now. Right, Miranda loving it today because all the kicks have been adjacent. He still missed one fairly simple one, but this will be his third should he put it over. A 3 from 4. And a scoreline that's becoming an embarrassment for the Magpies. 12-0 against them. Davidson. It's a downfield. There's 3 Balmain players down there to ring around Boland. 5 of them now. Boland trying to show his team by example at the moment. Mount here. Broughton, the left winger, comes midfield. We're doing our usual award today. The best footballer of our weekly telecast match will be called the King G Footballer of the Week, receiving $400 and appearing on Sports World the following week. All those weekly award winners will be judged, and at the year's end, the one selected will be named the Mazda Footballer of the Year and receive a magnificent Mazda RX-7 as his prize. Value 17,000. Goodwin with a long floating pass out to Boland. Then a run around with Cox. Nicely to Boland. Boland's up the sideline again. And a top tackle there from Hemsley. Don't usually associate diving tackles on the sideline from prop forwards, but that was top stuff. See it again. Good clever bit of play by West with Cox and Boland well and truly involved. And then, what's this tackle? That's good stuff. Filipino. Pierce. Wigham. Good tackle there from Leichhardt round his thighs. Martin, switch across the ruck. Pierce, nice step, but slips. Now Balmain are bunched up. No back line at all at the moment. Regan. Bridge. Filipino. Where's Davidson gone? He's suddenly gone midfield. Oh, well done, Martin. Back to Martin. Well, they've suddenly just struck a flat spot, not making any forward progress. Now Whittaker. Hemsley. Whittaker. Good pass there to Jack. Little kick over the top. And that's all right. Play on, says the referee. Players don't have to get out of your way just because you kick the ball. If you deliberately run into their back, it's no penalty. Donnelly cuts out a man. Good one. Lamb. Lovely quick hands out to Lease. Lease away to Smith. Smith's got a bit of pace. Unloads it out to Broughton. Broughton gets round his man. He's up the sideline. Jack comes to him. He evades Jack. There's a bit of shepherding. Francis there. Regan's coming at him. And he dives. It's a good try. That's a good try to Broughton. Sheer pace up the sideline. Got round his man with the greatest of ease, Miranda. And this is the way it came. There was a lovely pass from Lamb in that. Wayne Smith's acceleration. And Miranda just done for pace totally there. It was like a front row forward trying to catch him. Jack was the first time I've seen him miss a head-on tackle this season of that type. Regan's to be commended for chasing so hard, but he was never in the event. Now watch it again. This pass from Lamb, that one. Beautiful hands, Johnny Brass hands. Smith's acceleration did frail Opona. Miranda really looked pedestrian for pace. Now this fella Broughton up the sideline, a good swerve, and has to go again. Now watch Regan desperately trying to get to him, the dive, and perhaps a yard and a half earlier he might have done it. Cox from the sideline. He struck it well. Oh, it's shaved the inside and it's over. We got a football game in our hands again. Balmain 12, West 5. And look at the streamers and paper up there. Well, there's a profile that even cracked it for a smile when that goal crept over. Terry Fernley. I think he thought his team were down the drain, but they're still in it. 12-5. Still a long way to go. Difficult kick to take. Morocco takes it. Could have been penalised for the use of the elbow. Now Bob Cooper, who's not playing anywhere near his weight at the moment. That's the way to come onto the ball. Arbour. A few runs like that will stir up this West pack. A little bit of a pushing match between Hemsley and Arbour. Neil. He's got no backs out there as Lamb, so he elects to kick. It's a grubber type kick. He's not going to find touch. Wasn't kicked hard enough. Miranda's back for it. And the question is, Barry Ross, can a football team in this day and age with the speed of the game afford to carry a man on the wing who can't run quick?
Yes, well, he's there for his goal kicking, of course, and being such a good goal kicker, that's why they want him in the side. But as you say, with Broughton, one of the fastest players in rugby league against him, and we've already seen there's a weakness there.
Steve Martin, caught by one leg. Whittaker. Hemsley. Well tackled, Mountier. Whittaker. Martin. Regan, good solid stuff. And that takes it 10 yards from halfway midfield. That was the 6th. Trevor Ryan. And a top tackle there from Neil decks him about 10 yards from the quarter line. Could be a penalty. No, the referee says for Payon. Now, some of the West players have not been onside. Filipino.
Western Suburbs locked. Jimmy Lease is right here beside me on the sideline. A very bad cut just above the eye in the right eye region.
Hemsley unloaded. Little knock on there. Pearce unable to pick it up cleanly. So Lease off for stitching, is he, Barry?
Yes, he's gone into the tunnel, into the western suburbs dressing room, and it looked a very nasty cut.
We'll look for Martin to have a bit of a run now that they're without a lock forward. West being penalised for moving off the mark. The comments being made, it now comes into a kick and goal, and that's a stupid penalty.
Yes, they're about to make a replacement immediately. It's Michael Duke wearing number 14 going out to the touch judge.
Miranda, 15 yards in from the sideline, a yard out from the quarter. Fifth attempt. Looks good. Straight over. Balmain now surge away to a 14 points to 5 lead over Western Suburbs. Wigan might be in a bit of trouble. I just get the impression he's done something with a muscle. A few of his teammates have been talking to him. Right. Jip. He's made an interesting impression, made a good break. There's a good tackle from Gary Jackhead on. Top tackle. Neal. Lamb slips and goes under a tackle. Cox to Donnelly. Donnelly magically got that away. We'll record that and have a look at that in a minute because that was a funny bit of football, but it was clever. Yeah, here's the Donnelly thing. See the hand come out and pop it out from behind the body. Back to the action. Duke again, almost through the defence on that occasion. Balmain a bit spread out. Lamb. Martin looked as though he may have come into that ruck from an offside position. And West going very hard. Morocco belting his way to within 4 metres of the line. Mountier. Good one. Back on the inside to Neal. And Balmain defence at the moment really being stretched. Mountier last tackle. Still got 4.5 minutes to half-time. Cooper. Donnelly. Duke. Good one. Little kick through. That's clever. That's clever stuff. Oh, Boland knew he got to that, but it's gone just over the touch and goal line. And knocked over by Balmain, by a West player, Boland, so it'll be a restart from the quarter. That was clever thinking by Goodwin. That was on, if the kick had been just a fraction deeper. Terry Fernley there with a rather anxious look at his face. Won't be happy with this 14-5 scoreline with 3 minutes to go to half-time. There we go. Martin. Ten yards from halfway. Regan. Hemsley clapping his hands, wanting the ball out in the open side. He doesn't get it. It's the switch of play with Ryan giving it there to Pearce, who comes on the boil. Situation with errors. West 5, Balmain 3. That's the number of times each side's conceded the ball back. The opposition. Bridge intelligently to Martin. Balmain all in a bunch there again. They have this tendency to all cramp up together. Wigham and Filipina aren't spread anywhere near wide enough. Good picture of the scrum feed by Neal. Have a look and see what the referee's got to contend with. Duke, run around with Lamb. He's had a top game. There was a head clash in that. Duke and the tackler. That was passes forward, quite right. Good decision by the referee. See it again. Offside position when he took it. Cleverly executed, but just a fraction too far. What's Goodwin's swivel now? Now that was a good metre forward. Scrums at this stage with half-time coming up. 4-3 West, but the penalties have gone a massive 9-2 to Balmain, which would account for their advantage as far as the territory is concerned. About a minute and a half to go. Martin wrapped up, waste of a tackle. Hemsley, back to Martin. Good tackle there from Cooper. It came off his boot, it wasn't a knock on. The referee could have signalled that that's what in effect happened. It would have stopped some of the roars of the crowd. Martin, Filipina, and that's the 6. About 53 seconds, 34 seconds or so to go. Might be time for a full 6 tackle count. Got 16 seconds to go. It's a West ball. Shoot to Lamb. Oh, look at the tackle there with Pearce. That was copybook stuff. And there's Cooper. Another bad pass out to Boland. They've really given him some rubbish in the way of passes out there on the wing. Even Tom Mooney couldn't have picked that up. And at half-time, we've got a scoreline that reads Balmain 14, West 5. The scorers for the Balmain side have been a try to Bridge, a try to Regan, and goals 1, 2, 3, 4 to Wayne Miranda. For the Western Suburbs side, a try to Steve Broughton, and 1 goal from 1 attempt to Greg Cox. 14-5, back in just a moment. West running from right to left, kicking off. Balmain received the ball. Jack, who's we'll get a report on from Barry Ross in a moment, is in receipt of the ball. Balmain running from left to right in their black and gold uniform. They lead by 14-5. You've been in the dressing rooms, Barry Ross.
Yes, I have, Rex. And as you said, Gary Jack late back on the field, was there on time. He's had stitches on a bad eye cut, and he's back on the field now with the stitches in the eye. Frank Stanton spent a bit of time with the Balmain side, telling them that they can't release this. I'll just let you go on, Rex.
Carry on, there's offside.
Yes, I thought there may have been a chance of a score there. Yes, Frank Stanton spent a lot of time impressing upon his side that they've got a 9-point lead and a good side, and he impressed upon them that they are a good side, would go on with the job. He said that the first 15 minutes would be very important, and that's where they've got to tighten up and just hold Western Suburbs out that 15 minutes. Terry Fernley, meanwhile, in the West dressing room, they replaced George Morocco, their second rower, because of an ankle injury, but George Farr, the ex-Canterbury player, and Terry Fernley spent a lot of time with his prop, John Don, in his half. Alan Neal talking about the scrum feeding situation. He was unhappy with the amount of penalties from that. He also pointed to his team that they hadn't stuck to the game plan, and they've got to use the breeze this half.
Right, well, we're back with Balmain in possession, about 10 metres now from the halfway line. Whittaker tackle there, and Miranda's at dummy half. This tackle now around about the halfway line. Bromley trying to reap the ball from it. Ryan unloads to an on the boil Regan. Regan gets a pass away that's gone to ground. Cooper's offside. That has been penalised for it. Regan really hit that line moving. And Cooper was in an offside position. Miranda from 3 yards short of the halfway line, directly in the middle of the field. Coming off a short run, doesn't get that very well at all. Will barely make the goal line. Smith has it. Hemsley and Davidson combine to tackle. Now Mount here from dummy half. Mounty has made a good gain. Still going. Still going. And he's now tackled 3 yards from halfway. It's a good run. Donnelly. Fard, the replacement. Duke, the other replacement of dummy half, turning his back on the opposition. A bit dangerous always because there's Cooper. I'm sorry, Arbour putting it down off a Goodwin pass. Talking about Duke turning his back, there's the opportunity there for intercepts with the passer turning his back on the opposition coming through. Hemsley. The Balmain line very deeply. There is an overlap out there. The ball can be got quickly out. It can't. Cooper's attempted tackle was high but not dangerous. 14-5. Balmain lead. 4 minutes of the second half gone. Sugar on. Beautiful pass out to Wigham. Back then to Davidson. Davidson's on the fly up the sideline. There's Cox, and that's a top tackle. And in a touch too. That is a perfect bit of rugby league. See it again. Now Wigham's pass as he was falling, excellently executed. Fard despairing dive a bit late, but watch the Cox tackle. That's a top bit of football. Switch. Pearce comes up the blind side. Jack. Cooper, the defender there. It was good cover from the second rower. A set scrum. Regan. Literally hurling himself at the defensive wall there. Pearce. Filipina. Beautiful pass to Wigan. Put him down. It's a try. Yes, a classic bit of football. Filipina just took the tackle and nudged the ball on. It'll look good on telly. That's what the game's about. Watch it again. Now watch the big Kiwi now. The bump and unloaded perfectly. Wigham and full cry. And that's a beautiful sight to see. And from head on, Filipina. Through between the two defenders. Wayne Smith left pointless. And that's a very attractive sight. Wigham in full cry. 9 yards in from the sideline. With a yard out from the quarter. He's piloted that. Oh, just faded away fractionally to the left. So the score remains 17-5. Balmain's way. Good one. Kicks off. Ball goes over the dead ball line. Restart from the quarter. Webster. Jack. I think the message came through, Barry, that he's had 6 stitches in his head.
And Gary Jack, yes, it was a nasty cut, as was Jim Leeson, and he was being stitched at half-time also. I think Jim's right behind me here with ice on his cut eye, as is George Morocco with ice on his injured leg.
Lovely pass there from Ryan. Then, Regan got a pass away nicely to Bridge, but he was just taken out of the play by Smith. Regan, Martin, Filipina, creating a bit of havoc, unloads nicely to Martin. It's all going for Balmain. Hemsley up the blind side. Unloads. Whittaker. Martin. Fard sinks him in. There's Mountia's scrum stats. 56 from 105. Success rate 53.5. The West scrum. Neil has a dart around the blind side. Gets it to Boland. Good defence. Bob Cooper. Got to stand yards deep with the big men on the west side. They're sitting ducks for the defence, standing with Lamb, Arbour, Goodwin. That's probably Ted's longest run today. Cox's kick is not going to find touch, is it? Straightening up. Jack in possession. Broughton and Smith there. And Jack's done. Smith for pace. Now he gets it. No, he doesn't. Mountia finally puts him down and he brings it back to halfway. That's the sort of spirit that's in this Tiger side the last 2 weeks. Hemsley nicely to Martin. Out to Broughton. To Davidson. He's stepped it. But the defence of Duke is good. There was a solo effort there. There should have been a try. He had an unmarked man beside him. The Duke did marvellously well. There'll be a penalty. That's a try butchered to Balmain. Let's see the action again. Hemsley, the little pass to Martin, then out to Davidson. Got round the flank there. The cover of Duke. Watch it, number 14. And Trevor Ryan was on the inside there, screeching for the ball, but unable to get it. And they could put that down as a try. That was butchered. The penalty kick as a result of the illegality in the play of the ball from Miranda. 8th attempted goal. And that hits the upright, goes into the field of play. Cooper has it, unloads to Smith. Smith steps and comes back in when he had people unmarked on the outside, Lamb and Broughton. Balmain, according to the referee, all offside. Minutes of the second half gone. (12 to 5), that penalty count against Western Suburbs, and that's the worry. Donnelly. Out here. Arbour, who's run vigorously, but not often enough. Out here. Cooper. Pass out to Fard. Sets him up for the Wigan tackle. Ted Goodwin. Oh, 0 there. Lamb. Smith. Smith slips as he comes back inside, or attempts to. He had Boland there on the outside. Boland now says, I'll go for a run. Takes it to halfway. They're west of the line deep for once. Neil. Lamb. Fard takes that well. And that's the 6. Another scrum into Western Suburbs. Duke. He's been one of their most penetrative players since he came on. Now Goodwin. Oh dear, oh dear. Neil. Donnelly. Managed to get the pass away. Mountier scooped it up. Lamb. Arbour. Cooper. Pushed one of his own men out of the way to Goodwin. Goodwin cleverly out to Wayne Smith up the sideline, and a top tackle there from Wigan. Now Broughton a dummy half. Cox. Fard. You said Fard was a goer, Barry. He sure is. He's been involved in everything since he came on.
Yes, he represented New South Wales at under-18 level football, and Canterbury Junior, a good player. Wanted to get away from Canterbury.
Oh, Jack, well taken. Looking back over your head. Nicely timed or nicely weighted kick from Greg Cox. And Jack took it finally. 17 points to 5. Balmain with only 19 minutes to go.
Remarkable, Rex, how players find that little extra against their old clubs, such as Trevor Ryan and Gary Jack here today against West.
Yes, that was a beautiful take from Jack. Any young players entitled to be a little bit gun-shy after getting a wound in the head. Oh, and Cox has got himself right through. He's got support, and it's a beautiful try. What a solo effort that is. The Broughton. That's his second try. And Greg Cox. Oh, yes. A top bit of football. You won't see better. See it again. Feels the ball. You wouldn't think it possible a man could run through an entire football team, but he does. He finds the channel. The Pierce tackle was evaded. They couldn't believe at that stage he was going to get there, and that all took place over 50 or so metres. See it again. Cox. The weave. The Pierce tackle evaded. The sudden realisation he was going to get into the clear, and then the beautiful call from somebody in a better position, which is lovely to hear. Cox. Yes, that's it. 17-10s. West still have to score twice, but it can be done. Balmain 17, West 10. Balmain win a scrum. That'll be the first for a while. It's a good spirited run from Pearce. Miranda, Olsen Filipino, bump, unloads beautifully, Wigan up the sideline. This is pressure for Cox, and it's Bridge. And again, Filipino's strength has turned the tide, and Bridge is in for a beautiful try. That's his second. What spectacular football we're seeing in this match. And the power and strength of Filipino, again, being the difference. See it again. Here he is, the crunch, the power, look at the size of those legs, and at that point, it was Wigan, and he perfectly timed his pass back inside the Bridge, and the young 5'8" says, well, I'll go for two. And great stuff from head on. Watch again for Filipino's strength, through the Smith tackle. And there, with two men clinging to him, still unloaded the ball. Bridge. Cox has done everything he could, and that is the ball game as far as Wests are concerned. Well, Frank's at last got a smile on his face. Biscuits, as he's affectionately known by his close friends.
And as Wayne Miranda is lining up this kick, Western Suburbs made two changes. Terry Lever to run for John Donnelly, and Trevor Cogger for Michael Duke.
Miranda's kick is successful. And the scoreline now reads Balmain 22 and one would say safe. Western Suburbs 10. Ted Goodwin, a restart. Miranda takes it. Actually goes downfield according to plan, where Broughton is ringed around immediately. Loses the ball. Balmain back in possession. Hamsley has it. Even had visions of getting to his feet and sprinting with it then, but the world fell on him. Now Balmain, Miranda, Pearce, John Donnelly, who's been replaced. Terry Liebert has taken his spot.
Liebert is wearing number 20, and the other replacement, Trevor Cogger, in number 16, and he's on for Michael Duke.
All right, so we've got changes in this West team, but oh, there was a pass just given a fraction too hard. Wigan bounced off his chest, actually. The scrum into Western Suburbs. To the Cogger. Good tackle there by Martin, unseats him just short of the halfway line. Goodwin. Teddy Goodwin, you've got to run, my friend. You can't get out there and play first-grade football standing still. I'm embarrassed for Goodwin today, Barry Ross. Lamb.
Yes, he hasn't played well. And
well, hasn't played well. He hasn't tried. He hasn't made any running effort. He hasn't attempted to get into any attacking position.
He's carrying a bit of weight, Rex, and he hasn't been back all that long. It's about almost a year since he injured himself here in the Tooth Cup match last year. So he's obviously not match fit.
Well, when you see a fellow like Gary Jack get 6 stitches in the head and still keep going, and a few other people have had heavy knocks today and they've still put in the effort, that concerns me. Neil. He's had a quiet game, hasn't stamped his own personality on this game at all.
Yes, both the Balmain half and 5'8" have overplayed the West's opponents.
Oh yes, it's been a Martin Bridge performance.
And Pearce too, that scrum base trio has done very, very well for Balmain.
Nice little kick from Lamb, Goodwin. Oh, taken. There again, a little bit of luck, but a magnificent thing there from Filipino. A diving take, and he's standing there saying virtually, try to put me down if you can, and they couldn't. He's got a smile on his face. You couldn't. He's loved every minute of that. What a beautiful catch it was. Martin, Regan, the smile on the face of the Tiger. 22 points to 10. They're downright laughing. 3 wins in a row. Martin elects to kick. Fox, who's tried his heart out today, is going to get to this. Pass to Bowen. Bowen, the West skipper, won't give up until the last second. You can bet money on that. That's a great run. Now to the quarter line. Lee Beater slowly to his feet. Or is that far? Bowen round his man. Lobbed a pass back on the inside. It's gone to ground. Who's come up with it? Balmain. In the results of the earlier games here today, Balmain 14, West 8. Third grade, Balmain 17, West 7. As Barry said, it's been 3 times 3 on all 3 grades the last 3 rounds. Regan. Martin. Trevor Ryan, who's had a top game. One of many in the Balmain side do play well. Filipina, Jack, Bridge, Martin, Pearce, Ryan, all the top performers. Well, that was a crooked feed, but the referees go on with it. Martin. There's the hooter now. So Balmain has come up with a resounding victory here over Western Suburbs at Leichhardt Oval by 22 points to 10. Our award winner in today's match was Gary skipper Neil Whittaker. This is the full team: Gary Jack, John Davidson, Olsen Filipina, Wayne Wiggum, Wayne Miranda, Gary Bridge, Steve Martin, Wayne Pearce, Terry Regan, Trevor Ryan, Kerry Hemsley, Neil Whittaker, Gary Webster, and the coach Frank Stanton. Mr. Kevin Roberts. Pass to the whistle, gets them away. St George running from right to left. Out on the full, terrible start. Graham Wynn. That's a blunder of colossal proportions. And Miranda's going to take use of the penalty and have a shot for goal. Miranda directly in the middle of the field at the halfway. 15 goals, 29 attempts, 51.7%. Struck that well, but just drifted away a fraction to the right. Brian Johnson. Regan comes in to get him. Graham Quinn. Strong burst up to the quarter. Playing pretty well the last month for Graham Quinn. For St George's Graham Quinn, one of the few St George players whose form has been even. Jarvis. Dowling a dummy half. And it's a penalty against Terry Webster there for offside. Wynn kicking into the breeze, and it's fairly strong up top, not at ground level perhaps. Craig Young. Slight lift of the knee. We discussed that on Sports World yesterday. Dowling. Wynn. Quinn. And then to Walsh. Dowling. Runs into a hornet's nest. Hemsley all over him like the Black Death. Walsh, Morris, Trudgett. Good driving tackle there. Gary Bridge on Stone. Jarvis, the wholehearted player, this fellow. Dowling, Craig Young, Trudgett. Little change of pace. On the quarter line, that's the 6. Massive crowd here at Leichhardt. Beautiful day for rugby league. Sun shining, ground in apple pie condition. Dowling's okay, to his feet, scrum 10 yards out. That's a penalty, and it's against Steve Martin for an incorrect feed. Differential. Can't kick for goal, of course. Good to see St George not kicking for touch. Robert Stone made a good inroad there. He's only about 3 yards away. Dowling, Craig Young, Long, beautiful pass out to Johnson. It's a try. Out to Bird. It's a good try. Wide out. And Stone's initial charge from the quick tap was one of the reasons that sucked the defence in. So Bird, I think it's his first game, selected in first grade fully, comes up with a try. Good pass from Craig Young. Top one. Johnson cuts out, well, I think it was intended for Kinchilla, perhaps, the second one, from head on. Watch the Craig Young pass. That was beautiful. The defence left pointless. Went very close to bouncing it. Perhaps we could just see that again in slow-mo if my director can give us a look at it again from head on. Certainly the young fellow needs to be told, here it is, needs to be told how to put the ball down, not one-handed. As far as I'm concerned, he dropped the ball before he put it down. Win from the sideline. Not a great kick at all. And Win is falling away. Martin's kick-off. And if I know Roy Masters, and I hope I know Roy Masters well enough to know his attitudes, he'll be into Bird's ear at half-time, telling him that when he gets over the line, he's to go down on the ball, 2 arms, body on top of it. He's the luckiest boy in Christendom to get away with that. Craig Young. Robert Stone setting himself up on the right side there with a very firm hip, as you saw. Dowling. Morris, little kick through. He might get possession. He does. Oh, and it's been a despairing dive by Jack that's only unseated him on the 6th tackle. That was great stuff from both Morris and Jack. And that was a try for all seasons if he gets away. See it again. The little kick is smart, clever stuff, gets the bounce. He's into the clear, and that dive, a trip really, but legally done. Martin dummying, looking for Pearce there with that well-rehearsed move they've got. Here's Regan, who's had a quiet opening to this game. Martin, Filipina. Wiggum left a bit behind there. He was, Filipina had to search for him. At the blind side goes Ryan. It wasn't a swinging arm from Bird. It was a high tackle, and I think he may, yes, he's been told to keep him down by the referee, Roberts. It wasn't worth a penalty. Wiggum. Pearce. Beautifully to Wiggum. Wiggum's away. And lows to Davidson. Davidson juggles it. And there's defence from Morris. And good defence. Last tackle. St George in a bit of disarray here. Martin. Up goes the bomb. They're all offside. Johnson under pressure. It's just knocked over the dead ball line. Oh, yeah. St George backpedaling in a hurry on that occasion. That was a good break by Wiggum. Had Davidson not had to juggle it, he may well have got into the clear. Looking for our tackle of the week in this match, as well as all the others. The corrugated paper tackle of the week. Big awards for that. We're looking for our footballer of the week too, and this footballer of the match. Martin. Webster. Best footballer on our telecast match will be called the King G Footballer of the Week, receiving $400 and appearing on Sports World the following week to receive it. Balmain standing flat-footed at the moment. Bridge switches it back to Ryan on the blind. Pearce taken a bit high. The referee says not a head high. That was Morris. Whittaker. Whittaker unloads, and that was a knock on. Right at Martin's feet. Player down there at the moment, I think, is Walsh, is it?
Yes, it is.
And he's been told to get up. No, I think the referee was waving at the St George forwards. I don't think he was directing that at Walsh specifically. Penalty against St George for moving off the mark. All those weekly award winners will be judged by the Controversy Corner panel from Sports World at the end of the year. The overall winner will be named the Mazda Footballer of the Year. Receive a magnificent Mazda RX-7 as his prize, valued at $17,524. Also, you've got a Best Try award. The player responsible for the King G try of each match, $150. And the player responsible for the Mazda Try of the Year, a mighty Mazda 626, valued at $9,564. Balmain, Ryan, Pierce, almost through. Pierce sights a little, no, Whittaker sights a little opening. Oh, and he's nearly Catherine wheel through it. Martin, Bridge. Loses the ball, St George Morris steals it. Well, you can't be a golden boy all the time. Bridge is finding out. Bird. Good pass. Bird. Way to Jarvis, one of the goers on this St George side. Bird. Robert Stone. 10 yards out from his quarter. Craig Young. And Regan a little bit liberal with an arm then. There's the error situation. Balmain 7, St George only 1. That's the number of times each side's given the ball back to the opposition. And I thought that was a knock-on. The referee says play on because Balmain had come up with it. It was a knock-on from St George as Dowling. Martin. Bridge back inside to Filipina. Crack one tackle, still going. He's only 10 yards out. A quick play the ball might do the trick for them. Gets up and plays it forward. Still going. Only the second tackle, 5 yards out. Martin. Wigham unloads through. Martin's hard and fast for the line. And you can see how close he is. It's about half a metre away. Whittaker. Back inside to Wigham, and he's only about a yard away. Last tackle coming up, Whittaker. Back inside to Webster. Webster, that pass looked a bit forward. Wigham's... Oh dear, they're going so close. Wigham finished up again about 2 feet out, and great defence by St George. 3-0. St George lead. 1 try. John Bird, scorer of it. Balmain scrum win. And well and truly tackled. Robert Stone breaking very quickly from that scrum. Jack. Jack through the gap. He's had to go it alone. He's got no support. Filipina. Wigham. Pierce. Unloads to Miranda. Miranda's going to score. He'll go round a bit. That's a good try. Well, that Jack...